31, according to my clock.
Say the pledge. I
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and roll call.
We have standing in for our president, vice chair, Pat Miller, and then we have our secretary, Crystal Handel, our treasurer, Carl Gilmore, and Vicki Knight, our trustee. Absent with notice is Sharon Kinley, who's on vacation, and Samantha Hurtado did let us know she had her wisdom teeth out yesterday. She thought she would be here today, but yeah, that's okay. If she didn't quite make it, we understand, because that is not a pleasant business. And Gretchen Hurtado had another meeting to attend.
Gretchen Fritz.
Fritz.
The other Gretchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Oops. And let's see, just the usual library staff members, Laura Bautista, Deb Maxwell, Lisa Pappas, and me.
Do we have enough for quorum?
And-
Yes, you are quorum. You have 4.
And welcome, public again.
Hello.
We certainly appreciate you being here. Public, do you have any comment?
Boy, I didn't think about it very well before I came, so I should just say no. Thank you. If I get one, it couldn't have been too important.
Anyone else that has any public comment? Well, I walked around to see that at the back, Butterfly Garden is coming along. And if it would stop raining enough days, I guess the rest of the problem with our landscaping getting in would be solved. But I think that it's going to look lovely when it's all finished.
Oh, I guess another quick building note. I did see that somehow between Lance and the village, they got the squishy orange tiles worked out on the side here by the gutter.
Yes.
They had been eroding from underneath, and now they're nice and solid, so well done. That's all I want.
I did indicate that I had observed the places on the front which are not our property, but they are village property, where the tree had been removed particularly, and that indentation is there with the partial stump, where I almost broke my ankle once before, and that is still not filled in, addressed in some way, so I presume we'll have to find a way to get back to the village. So I don't know if you'll be at the coffee with the mayor, or if I may go, or you'll call Public Works or whatever. Maybe just as a reminder, I would hate to see anyone who would be hurt. And when it's dark, you cannot see that indentation.
It's dark because the lights are out.
Lance
Yes.
has contacted Public Works previously on this issue.
So slowly but surely. Any other public comment?
Ms.
Welcome.
Hurtado has made it. Oh, they've got you over here today.
We're all mixing it up.
Just
Well, we're glad we had that commitment to come no matter what, Samantha. We really appreciate that. The consent agenda is stated: A, the June 18th, 2014 regular board meeting minutes, and B, approval of the bills paid and payable. Would anyone like to move that the consent agenda be approved?
I move to approve the consent agenda for June 18th, 2014. And the bills payable in the amount of $367,760.21.
Seconded.
Okay, any questions? Yes, I thought it would be helpful to make note of the fact that the general bills this month are approximately $120,000 more than last month. And so that if anyone would be saying, oh my goodness, that I just looked at a few of the items, and that these are items which as such then you pay at the end of the fiscal year, or when that bill comes in, which covers a lot more time. And those happen to include Mark Sims, which is our tech. And that was 120,000, I think. No, that was 50,000.
54,700, and that was passed at the April board, May, whatever. And that is the annual IT support contract.
And Pinnacle, $20,000.
And that is group purchase of some databases, prepaid for FY15.
And then we had a legal bill to John for $10,000.
Our attorney finally caught up because he had not billed us previously in the entire fiscal year.
Really?
Don't ask.
Yeah.
So although there are others.
Thanks for the loan, but.
I know.
Well, it's very nice that he is not one of those that is demanding money up front.
Right.
In any case, I thought it was helpful just to know why we had such a huge difference in the general bills for this month. I have a motion, and it has been seconded, that the consent agenda be approved, both in terms of the minutes and the bills paid and payables. You want to do a roll call vote?
Sure. Pat?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Vicki? Yes. Samantha? Crystal?
Yes. Okay, that's been passed. Thank you. Committee reports. As I understand it, that none of the committees per se have met this past month.
Very true.
Okay, as such, however, even though the Personnel Committee has not had a meeting, as chairperson of the Personnel Committee, I wanted to recognize and extend my gratitude to any number of people: Deb Maxwell, Lisa Pappas, of course our Director Julie Milovic, for service like above and beyond the call of duty in terms of attempting to get our 2013-2014 year successfully ended and things launched, with many wrinkles in between toward the end of this fiscal year. In addition, I wanted to thank Michelle Peterson, because I was here on a Saturday, and Michelle was here, I think, all day, trying to make sure that she made the best decisions and choices in terms of program materials and what's available, so that we would have our money spent most wisely in terms of those things that were going to be best to launch our new year. I certainly would like to thank any other heads of departments as well. Even though I did not bump into them, that doesn't mean they didn't do a lot of wonderful work. And administrators, who certainly have a job that sometimes can feel thankless. And certainly, last but not least, the entire staff, who are committed to making this continue as being one of the friendliest, most committed group of people in serving our patrons. And I think it's a great way that we can end the fiscal year and begin our new one. So viva la summer reader. In addition, I wanted to bring up, because it's rather something that the Personnel Committee had just set out there to say, that Julie's benefits, when we talked about the evaluation and pay and benefits for the coming year, her benefits were going to be tied to the benefits that would be, the cost of insurance that would be there based on the remainder of the staff benefits program. So I would like to ask Julie to comment on that so that we would be informed.
And the contract that was entered into, the multi-year contract for my employment, included a cap of 25% of salary in any given year for the benefits, and the total with our change of insurance carrier is running right about 20% of salary. So we are well within the amount stipulated by the contract.
So I think that that ties up the remainder of the evaluation process. I'm glad that that's behind us. I think any other business that might deal with personnel, we will have an executive session. Library Director's report, I turn it over to you.
It's been a heck of a month. We are doing very well. Summer reading is going beautifully, knock wood, keep your fingers crossed. All of our statistics are right on track. We did have, I forgot to look, did we break 4,000 yet? I think we did. Anyway, so things are going really well. We do have the grand finale event on Saturday, August 2nd. So if you all would like to sign up for a specific shift at grand finale, or if you're planning to be there the whole time, let Deb know what time is most convenient for you. It is a 3-hour window from 1 to 4. We ask that if you're doing the 1 o'clock, come about 15 minutes early, so that you, either way, come about 15 minutes early, so you can get the orientation on what the board will be doing this year, which I haven't even asked Lisa what she's going to have you all doing.
You'll be giving out water.
Water bottles.
Welcoming people into our main entrance.
At the
Having
park.
fun.
Yes, and we will be
At
on the
Village
village
Green.
We will be on the
Yes.
village green again. We will have the main banner at that main entrance at the corner of Chicago and Des Moines
Yes.
there. And then I also reminded you all in my written report that October 4th will be a very big day of events for the library. It's the homecoming parade and it's Star Wars Reads Day. So the homecoming parade is in the morning, Star Wars Reads Day in the afternoon. So if you have any availability, think about coming on out on those days.
On August 2nd, I had previously mentioned to the managing editor of the Enterprise that we had not had any coverage last year, and that we would certainly appreciate having that this year, and what a phenomenal success it was at the Village Green, how many people certainly commented on its magnificence. I do believe that we can maybe send a reminder to say, ahead of time, so that somehow, and if you really need me to call him, I will be happy to call him, because we had spoken before. I mean, I had imposed on Julie on like a moment's notice after he and I spoke at another event about having more guest columns from the library. And Julie, with all of the other things that were piled on her, did go ahead, got material together, got it sent in. We had one. She's been sending other material in. I do think it was nice though that we did include the dog adoption.
Yes.
So that was also part of the program we were involved with. And then even this last week on the front page, it was our participation in the Green Series with the village. So I think it's wonderful that we have inter-organizational, intergovernmental, but certainly some kind of personal relationship with the community via the enterprise, which I think is a really good thing that is occurring.
And if you read through the other staff's reports, you will see it was a very busy end to the fiscal year. All those year-end purchases kept everyone hopping on all levels. making the purchases to paying the invoices, the staff was kept very, very busy. And we are very pleased with the way we were able to close out FY14. And on to the new fiscal year.
Well, including the annual report that you had to complete.
Yes, yes. Well, that actually is not completely done yet. We have not gotten all of our statistical reports yet from Pinnacle. Those are generally received right about the end of July. And then from there, we start doing the actual input. And it's an online form, but there does have to be some signed pages submitted, including the annual audit of the secretary's minutes, for which there will have to be volunteers in a little bit. And oh, and a huge thank you to Lance and the maintenance department for the facelift of the staff kitchen that occurred over the 4th of July holiday weekend. They did new flooring. The flooring in that kitchen was horrendous, and it is now new and beautiful, and it really makes a big difference. Yes, and they were able to do, because it's such a small space, it didn't take them very long, it wasn't very expensive, but that Lance, he gets things done. And it's been fantastic having him on board.
Always there to wish greater morale boosts for all the staff.
Yes.
And that's got to be a morale boost.
And we were able to replace the stove and the dishwasher, both of which were 20+ years old, and the dishwasher kind of precipitated the entire thing by beginning to leak all over the floor. So we have our 2 new appliances and the new floor, so the whole kitchen looks very different.
Anything else from the report?
No, I think that's all.
Let's get to action items. We have one item of unfinished business. If you'll refer to pages 51 to 63, that's will be involving Resolution 2014-1, which is making available the tentative budget and appropriation ordinance. I want to know if there's any comment or question about the budget. Carl, do you have anything you want to present about?
I think we've gone over that the past couple of meetings now,
Right.
Relatively in depth, so I don't know that there's anything additional to add. Other than I think things look really good, the changes that we've made over the past year and a half, looking forward to the multi-year budget that's in place. Everything looks very status quo.
Okay. If there aren't any questions, I would need a motion that we would provide the resolution 2014-1 with an acceptance by this board.
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we pass resolution 2014-1. All in favor?
Oh,
We
that
need
has
roll
to be a
call.
roll
We need a
call.
roll
We'll go
call,
the
right.
other way. Crystal?
Yes.
Samantha? Becky? Yes. Carl?
Yes.
Pat?
Yes.
It
Okay,
was a very
motion
quiet
passed.
yes from Sam. You can't talk. It's okay.
Okay, new
Do,
business.
do note the budget and appropriation hearing for August 20th that will take place at
Right.
6 o'clock, so we'll get an early start.
The publication is already set for that.
Yep.
Yes. We can go on to ordinance 2014-3, which is under new business, which is the a levy of 0.02% building sites and maintenance fund. You'll find that, I guess, in that same 64 to 68, pages 64 to 68.
It was interesting to note that for the first time, we actually have a registered voter in our area in Kendall County. And the updated, I don't believe we provided you, the number of registered voters in the district is equal to, Deb's got it,
I have it in my copies to be signed.
40,895, I believe.
Yes.
There are 40,894 in Will County and 1 in Kendall County. Now here's where it makes the difference. Because it's got to be 10% of the registered voters, because that's how many voted in the last election. Because it brings that up to a 5, that makes it 4,090 voters for the petition instead of 4,089, because we get to round up because of our voter in Kendall County.
Our statistics, right?
The power of 1.
Right. Any questions about this levy? Otherwise, I will entertain a motion to pass this ordinance, 2014-3.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded.
Right. Carl?
Yes.
Vicki? Samantha? Crystal?
Yes.
Pat?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, passed. Motion is passed. Let's move on to the next. Next is the item on page 69. You will find the quote for the book bag purchase.
And this is for the circulation department. They use them primarily for new cards. As they issue new cards, they give out the bag with some information in it, and then they are also used with some giveaway kind of things by other departments, etc. So we periodically have to buy some stock.
Well, I think the bags have been good advertising over the years. I think I have 3 different bags. So now I'll have to get another one.
Is this going to feature the new?
Yes.
A new
Material.
logo.
Oh,
Yes.
logo, right. Okay, if there aren't any questions, I would entertain a motion. The total cost in the quote indicated is $3,545.
Now, will we be able to save the $25 design fee with the high-res image that needs no changing? Do we have that from our design?
We do,
Yes.
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, should be.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'll make sure that Michelle knows that we know
So would that be?
Amount not to exceed.
Right.
Right.
I was gonna say,
Okay, would someone care to make a motion to that effect?
I move that the quote for Star Total Print Solutions in an amount not to exceed $3,545 be approved.
Seconded.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded.
Right.
Roll call.
Samantha? Vicki? Carl?
Yes.
Pat?
Yes.
Crystal?
Okay, very good. Motion passed. Now we have some policy concerns.
Yes.
Starting on page 70. And this is really, on page 70, it seems it's a reworking of the language. And same thing basically on page 71. page 70, it refers to, all of this is in reference to vacation, sick leave, flexible spending for employees. So this is under the
This is all in
policies that apply
Personnel.
to personnel, right?
And the flexible spending account language, that is actually a change in the laws that govern those flexible spending accounts about how the carryover can be done. Previously, there was no carryover allowed. And the voluntary additional contributions for IMRF is that's a completely voluntary program that is part of IMRF that we figured people needed to know more about, because it is an excellent way for employees who qualify for IMRF to continue to build their retirement savings. So we wanted to make sure that we had that piece reflected in our personnel policy.
Is there any time limit on that, like per year, or no, just at any time,
As-
10%?
Yep,
Okay.
as long as you are an IMRF participant, you can put up to 10% of your salary in that.
Okay.
Under the sick leave provision, we have fitness to work, assuring your fitness to work. If there are, and there would not be many things certainly within maybe our purview, but if there are any restrictions given, although a person is released to go back to work, I presume that those would be honored based
Oh,
on the
absolutely.
physician's restrictions.
Yes, if the person's position is such that there is work that they can do within the restrictions, we do always follow those. Otherwise, we do ask that they remain off until they can
Because some
at
employers,
least do part of it.
some employers at this point, unless you're fit to do the entire job, they do not wish you to return, so I thought I would inquire.
We do our best to accommodate, but in most cases, when people come back, if they're coming back, they're going for more.
Anyone need more time to read the rules? If not, can I entertain a motion that we accept the changes in the policy as indicated?
I move that we accept the changes to the personnel policy as indicated in the paperwork submitted.
Second? It's been moved and seconded that the policy changes in personnel policies be accepted and approved. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Now, I hope you all had a wonderful time
Reading through all
reading
the
through
fun.
all of this. It's colorful at least.
That is
When is analytics not fun?
Analytics are
Wow.
awesome. I want to play with statistical reporting.
This is, I love the way you have it here, pages 73 to 154.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, some of those are sample reports based on one of their, fictional libraries, library districts, to show what a patron profile analysis would look like and what a collection report would look like for analytics on demand. Now, the way their subscriptions, this is, by the way, a brand new offering from Gale Cengage. Gale is one of the database providers that has had quite a few products for libraries over the years, but this is the first time that this sort of statistical analysis based on the kinds of marketing data, et cetera, that a lot of larger businesses use can be applied in a library setting for a relatively affordable cost. It is very much like reports that your economic development councils, et cetera, would use. It's very similar to the Buxton report that the Plainfield Economic Development Group had done on a number of on 3 different areas that they were looking to market for commercial and retail business needs. So this is a really great way for us to get a better picture of who are our users, who are our non-users, where do they live, what are their characteristics, and really help us be able to